Hello and welcome to this tutorial on sending artwork and visuals by email. One of the most common questions asked by our end users is how can I send my designs by email so my customer can view them? In this tutorial I will take you through the various steps required to achieve this. SignLab has some really neat built-in functions to help you send your artwork by email in a way that will enable your customer to view it with ease, and we will cover this in full shortly. But to begin, I'm going to explain some basics about saving and sending file types in general. Take a look at the images you see on screen. This job was created solely in SignLab. It contains both vectored paths and bitmaps. I'm now going to save it in the regular way by going to the File menu and clicking Save As. You'll notice here in the Save As type box the wording CAD-link drawing file. This is the native file format for all objects saved from SignLab. When I now click Save, my file will be given a .cdl file extension. The file extension enables Windows to identify what program the file is associated with. Whenever I double click on this file in the future, SignLab will automatically launch. So I now wish to send the artwork to my customer for approval. Simply attaching this file to an email in its current CDL format will be of no use to my customer unless they also have a copy of SignLab. I would first need to export the file using a different file format, one which will be compatible with a program on my customer's computer. There are many different file types that could be used, and selecting the right one could be a very time-consuming process. Phone calls to the customer, different emails bouncing back and forth will not only look unprofessional but will also cost you valuable time. I now have on screen a complete job ready to send to my customer for evaluation. The original coffee house design has had dimensions and notes added to it and has been placed in a customizable SignLab template. The steps to achieve what you now see on screen are covered in full in a separate tutorial on using dimensions and templates. So I am now going to go to the web menu and select Send Image by Email. Before you can use this function in SignLab, you will need to set a few choices and parameters. So to do this I will click Settings and then Advanced. When sending a job in this way, a HTML file of the document will be created. If you are unaware, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. This is the format used for writing most web pages. The name of the HTML file that is created will be displayed here. The text in the set title box will be displayed in the title bar of the finished email to be sent. I have entered your visual, but you could enter what you feel suits or change it each time you send an email. You may wish to enter your company name here instead. Each time you send an email from SignLab, a copy of the HTML file created will be saved. This field lets you specify a directory where the files are to be kept. The sent email will have your SignLab workspace attached to it for your customer to view. This box lets you set the name of the attached file. I have called mine Aromatherapy in keeping with the name assigned for the original CDL file saved on my system. Next you can select the file format your preview will be saved in. For this example I will use PDF or Portable Document format to give it its full title. This compression standard is very popular today and can be read by most computers. The software required to read a PDF file is called Adobe Acrobat Reader. If a customer does not already have this software installed, it can be downloaded free of charge from the Adobe website. PDF will provide very good file compression with little loss of quality. If you prefer, either of the other formats here can be used. Lastly, here I'm going to set my maximum image size to 200 kilobytes. When the selected SignLab workspace is to be sent by email, it will first be transformed into a bitmap object. The value you set here will determine the maximum file size that bitmap will be before the file is then compressed with a chosen file format, in this example PDF. In the next window we will set the pixel dimension of the thumbnail image that will be attached to the sent email, and this will ultimately determine the size of the file to be sent. Setting the max to 200 kilobytes should enable you to include a thumbnail of up to 800 by 600 pixels. Clicking OK will take me back to the first settings window. Here I can set the color of my email background and the color of the text used on the email. Here there is a tick box to include job notes. The job notes are accessed by choosing Job Cost Notes under the File menu in SignLab. These notes provide summary information about the job, such as the customer contact information and the materials used in the design. If the Include Job Notes option is enabled, then the job cost notes for this workspace will be included as part of the email preview. On the Job Notes Summary dialog, a checkbox is provided beside each field. If a given checkbox is disabled, then its field will not be included when the notes are attached to your email. This is a useful means of preventing sensitive information from being included as part of the documentation. For more information on using this function, have a look at the Job Notes tutorial, which will explain using this feature fully. A thumbnail of the SignLab workspace will be created for this email. Using this slider will enable me to indicate the pixel width and height of the thumbnail. The limitations of this value was set when I selected 200 kilobytes as my maximum image size in the previous window. Increasing the pixel width and height will produce a thumbnail with greater detail, but the thumbnail size will also be increased. However, the lowest common monitor resolution is 800 by 600 pixels. If the thumbnail size is much larger than 800 by 600, then the customer may need to scroll their email window to view the whole image. I generally set the pixel width between 400 and 800 just to be on the safe side. Lastly, in this window we can set a company logo to be included on each email we send. If your company has its own website, it's also possible to set a link so when the customer clicks on the attached logo, they will be directed to your site. You will first need to export your company logo to a usable format. I would recommend JPEG. Remember, the logo will be displayed small on the sent email, so don't make the physical size too big. Also bear in mind that the attached logo will add to the overall email file size, and you will want to keep this as low as possible. To include your saved logo, click on the context menu and browse to its location. To set the website the customer will be directed to when they click on the included logo, simply enter the web address here. OK, with that done, I can now click OK. Now I have set all my preferences for sending emails from SignLab. I will return to SignLab and demonstrate how simple sending your visuals will be. All I need do is go to the web menu and select Send Image by Email. I will now enter some text to be included on the email and click Send. This will then open my default mail client and a new message with my visual and all relevant details attached. To complete this process, I need only enter the customer's email address and click Send. Your customer's received email will look like this. All the details surrounding the job are displayed on the email, together with a professional representation of what the intended signage will look like. If he or she wishes, they can click on your company logo and be directed to any page you choose on your company website. These simple but powerful tools enable you to present your work in a way that will impress any potential customer. They take little time to set up and will ultimately make your efforts stand out against the competition.